Yo, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? Listen, it's been a minute. I've been busy. I've been like going on solo missions, going on vacations. I just need to reset, hit the reset button, refresh and do all of that. But I'm back. And yeah. So today's topic is gonna be first date questions, or questions to ask on a first date to get to know the person you're gonna date with better, right? So yeah, catch you guys on the flip side.
I think I'm losing my mind, trying to stay inside the line.
Bam! Your boy's back. Your boy is back. I'm too lazy to bring up my ring light, man, so I'm just using a side table lamp basically to like light my face from the bottom so that I have my double chin. Believe it or not, I do have a double. That's not important. Let's get into it. I have a number of questions here I've noted. I feel like they're really good. So feel free to use them, whether you're in your 20s, whether in your 30s, or what. Would I recommend them for teens? No, man. Don't do dating as a teen, man. Don't start early. You'll turn into a heartless son of a gun. So it's wait till early 20s, man. Trust me. Yeah. Or you could do whatever you want. No pressure. That's just my opinion, my advice. Anyway, so the first question is, what topic would you be able to give a 30-minute presentation on with no preparation whatsoever? So I feel like that question basically tells you about the person, like, oh, what are they passionate about? Like, what are they passionate about? Like, because 30 minutes is a long time. 30 minutes is a long time. I would answer these questions, but I feel like if I do, when I go on the first date, it's gonna be nah. So yeah, they'll have to ask me these questions. But anyway, let's crack on. The second question is, what's like your most favorite compliment you've ever received? So this shows you shows you a couple of things. It tells you like what thing they value most about themselves, and or things they just value about, like, in life in general. So for instance, it may be like, oh, you have a really cool taste in music, and then that might be the bestest thing. It might be like on par with like, you're the sexiest man I've seen in life. So it just really depends on like what type of person they are. So I feel like that's also a good question to throw in the mix there. Third question: how would you describe the internet to a caveman? How would you describe the internet to a caveman? So this question basically, it tells you how the person views the internet and like what they primarily use it for. So if you're like I would say a data analyst or some sort of scientist, or just like a scholar in general, you'd be like, oh, the internet is used for like information. Or like if you're a person that's really into like, sharing stuff, photos, videos with family, like let's say you live in a different country, so that might tell you like, oh, this is something they use the internet primarily for. It's not really deep, but like it lets you into their head slightly. The next question is, do you prefer night or day? Now this question, I feel like most introverts, I may be wrong, most introverts prefer night, because they're like, oh, the solitude, the silence, the peace, the tranquility. And also bonus points if you're a selenophile like myself, I absolutely adore the moon. So if it's a beautiful night, clear sky, starry night, the moon's out, that is just orgasmic, really. And extroverts tend to prefer day. So do with that information what you will. Right. The next question would be, what's your favorite animal, and give 3 reasons why. people tend to just leave it at what's your favorite animal, and also if you ask them to give a reason why, they might give like a really basic answer like, oh, I like lions because they're the king of the jungle. Okay, what does that mean to you? Like, give me 2 more reasons. You know, they need to go in depth, but of course allow them to elaborate and explain themselves, like, and go into as much depth as they desire, right? The next question would be, what would you do if you won the lottery today? What would you do if you won the... So this question is a non-invasive way of gauging a person's relationship with finances and like their view on money and like on the rich. So yeah, that's it's kind of a nice little one that you could, like, you know, get some insight on like a person's, you know, relationship with what I've already mentioned there. Yeah, and then the next question is, what was the last thing you did that gave you childlike joy? This is just a fun one. It has no hidden agenda, hidden meaning. No. It will just let you know like what sort of inner child they have in them. For some people, maybe like, oh, I went trampolining. For another person, maybe like, oh, I went I rolled down a hill. Roll down a hill? That sounds dangerous. But yeah, I slid down a sand dune. It could be anything really. Yeah, so it kind of like lets you know what kind of inner child they have. The next question is, what would you do if you found a penguin in your freezer? What would you do if you found a penguin in your freezer? It's fun. It's just, this is just for the bands, because it gets you to think, ooh. Because I still can't answer it. Like, I've been thinking about it for time now and I still can't answer. Of course, like, obviously I'd make it a pet, or I would call a zoo. I don't know, but like, is it sustainable to have a penguin as a pet? Like, how often are you gonna go to the shops and bring it fish? So yeah, those are the type of questions. And then the next question is, what is a seemingly mundane question that you could ask somebody to get to know their character more? Yeah, so that is layered. That is a layered question, and you could unpack it or whatever. Yeah, and then I think last but not least is what would you wish was your superpower, or what superpower would you wish you possessed? This is just the possibilities of a good answer are endless. So I read somebody say that like they would like their power to be the ability to change probability. I was like, ooh, that is sick. That is so wicked. Another person said, I wish I had the power to fill stuff up. And I was like, okay. Because think about it, you could fill your bank account up to like whatever degree or extent you desire. You could fill any glass, any mug with whatever thing you desired. You could fill your belly with whatever thing you desired. But I guess that would take away the fun of eating, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of things you could do with that. Or you could go with the basics answers we used to give as kids, like, oh, super hearing, or like teleportation and stuff like that. So yeah, it really lets you know, like, you know, lets you have a little peek into their imagination. One last one is, if they're an avid reader, ask them, what book do they wish they lived in? That is such a good question, such a loaded question. If a person is into like psycho thrillers, or into like horror, or into like romantic novels, or like YA, it could be like, oh, it could be anything. And then you could ask them to like explain and tell you about the book and like its premise, its whole like storyline. Yeah, and then you guys could bond over that, you know. Yeah, so those are all the questions I have today. I might do a part 2 on this. So yeah, go out, have fun, and enjoy. Catch you on the flip side.